Hi everyone, Jackie with Full Moon Loon Designs. If you're watching this the day I post it, it's Saturday. I have not been very active in glass lately, and it's been a couple things. It's been I've been busy with work and more mentally exhausted. Even if I work a normal day, I'm just wiped out by the end of the day. So kind of just relaxing in the evenings as much as I can. I've also been getting a little reinvested into my paper crafting things. But today I have these molds, and again, thank you Jameson for doing your video on these, and especially for your collaboration with CPI. Oh, somebody's got something to say about the paw molds, I think. Because these are just wonderful. I have the other CPI molds. I have like a little bone, I have another paw print that I'm pretty sure is CPI, and then I have the Holey Paw. But none of them were quite what I was looking for, and these I think are going to be just the thing. What I got on there? Probably a Rocco hair that got covered in zip. So what I've got out today is a little bit of quote-unquote scrap, and because I haven't been working with Bullseye or with 90 for very long, I don't have a lot, but I'm starting to get some from pieces that I have made, and I think that, and actually I already have some in the perfect sizes, some petrified wood and robin's blue together, and one of these might look really cool. Probably do more than one. I also drug out my Val frit from Val Cox, and some of the newer colors in 90s like Everglade, Tanzanite, and Atomic Pink. Some of these other ones she's had a while. I also have a little bit of frit here, Bullseye, and I think they're all Bullseye colors there. So, and then that was from when I made some hearts a while back, just leftover pieces of clear tecta and some frit. So I'm going to play today. I'm going to work on these paws. I'm not going to video the whole thing. I mean, you've already, hopefully you've seen Jameson's video. He goes through filling them. It's going to be much like other casting molds. I'm just going to add pieces, but I'll get a shot of it and post a picture when they're going into the kiln later today. But I just wanted to pop in and say hey, and say I hope you're all having a great weekend. And for those of you that are still following me, even though I don't post a lot, thank you so much. And I will chat with you all later today or this weekend. Hey Rocco, say bye. Rocco. Yeah, he's not interested now. Later. I wanted to share this really quick. So I don't always, in fact, rarely do I go by fill weights. Once I've fired a mold, I'll usually just eyeball it. But I do like to see what the suggested fill weights look like. Now, I have these great little cups. I found these at the grocery store last time I went, and they're a little bit different than the usual little cups that I use for this stuff. But anyway, they're 2 grams. I could tear the scale out, but CPI recommends 13, and I thought, well, okay, for my scrap here, just how much is 13 grams? And it's just, okay, maybe I could put one more little piece in there. So because I didn't tear it, I can see that right now I'm sitting at 12 grams. So let's see, maybe I'll take another little piece of blue. So that's 13 grams. Now, I may need to nip this up a little bit smaller, but let's see. I'm gonna have to arrange it a little bit if I want these pieces to really do their magic. But to me, that doesn't look like enough glass. Now, if I were using strictly frit, it would probably fill it in a little better. So what I'll probably do is use that as my baseline, and then add maybe a little bit of clear frit around that. I don't really want to put a lot of clear in with these pieces that have the petrified wood and this one's robin's egg blue, because I don't want to interfere with the reactions. I want to get that. So I'm going to take a look and see what I might have for, I think I do have a little bit of some thin tecta or some thin clear that's Bullseye that I might be able to nip up. Otherwise, I might just use a little bit of medium frit clear. Again, really just to kind of help fill in a few gaps there. But I just wanted to share what 13 grams of just scrap glass look like. And to me, I don't think that's quite enough. But you know what? This is my first time firing the mold, so we'll see what happens. All right, so I've been cutting up some scrap that I had these little bits here, and I really just wanted to cut them even smaller like I have in the paw mold already here. And I thought, well, let's see what, 8 little paws worth of just nipped up scrap looks like if we were gonna go with exactly 13 grams each. So 13 grams times the 8 cavities is going to give me 104 grams. Plus I know that my little cup here is 2 grams. I didn't tear out the scale. So really filling that up, and most of my pieces are probably cut, 1/4 inch, probably between 1/8 and 1/2. I mean, they're just little bits and pieces, but that's 106 grams. Now, I already have one of my cavities filled, so I know that I only actually need 91 grams plus the 2, so I only need 93 in this cup. If I want to be more precise. Now that said, the recommended weight being 13, as I mentioned in the little earlier clip, I used 2 grams, measured it out for probably these first 1, 2, 3 here. As I got back in the back there, I just eyeballed it. So these are going to be weighing between probably 14 to 16 grams when they're finished. We'll weigh them out when they're finished and see what they weigh. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of share, hey, there's what enough scrap to technically by weight fill these. But again, I'm going to eyeball them. I will be mixing it up a little bit as I put it in there to make sure I have a good blend of both the robin's egg and the clearer as well as the amber areas of the petrified wood. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's full. Okay, so when I started out today, I really hadn't planned on shooting a video, but I might as well put all this together and upload it at once. So these are this is my first mold filled now with the scrap glass. And again, I did 2 grams of, or approximately, of clear medium frit in the bottom. Again, could get some champagne bubbles with those, but I'm okay with that using this blend of glass because I think it's going to lend to some pretty cool effects. If you, haven't worked with petrified wood before, with the blues and how it reacts, we should get some pretty cool combinations. I have chunks of the clearer portions of the petrified wood as well as some of the more amber pieces. I measured out, as I just showed earlier, the amount that I thought I needed, and these looked pretty good. And honestly, I only went over maybe 3 or 4 of them and just added a few more little bits to kind of even them out. So I'll check them when they're out of the kiln and see what they come in weighing at. I think they're going to weigh in between probably 14 to 16 grams each. But I am going to fire them like I do my hearts. I may not have to hold quite as long. And I am going to double check the temp that I go up to when I'm firing petrified wood, just to take a look at that top temp. And I will share my schedule at the end. But anyway, this is this tray, or this mold, getting ready to go in. I still have this one to fill yet, and I'm going to use some various frit colors for this one. So I'll get another shot here before everything fires up. All right, similar to earlier when I was putting a couple of grams of clear frit in the bottom of each one where I had my scrap bits, this time it's kind of the opposite. I'm going to use some clear scrap bits, and this is just a little strip of tecta in the bottom of each, and then add my frit. So if I'm going with the same weight that I did on the other one, I figure a couple grams each, so that would be 16, and that is just this one little strip of scrap. So I'm going to nip this strip, try saying that 10 times really fast, and then put that into the bases of these and then add my colors. All right, I'm back. So if I were using 2 grams of frit in each one, 2 grams of scrap bits cut up in each one as a base, it was hardly even covering the bases. So this, I thought, okay, well, this is about 4. Granted, they're not completely even for each one. But now I'm kind of leaning towards, how about if I go with about 5 grams of clear base, so that should be closer to 20 for those 4. And then add, my colors are going to be very intense because I'm using the Val Cox frit, so, I can get away with less color frit in there. So I'm thinking 5 grams of clear and approximately 10 grams of color, and that's how I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to nip up a little bit more clear, get these more like this one, these here, where it's a nice clear coating basically on the base, which is going to be the top of the paw, just to give some of that depth, and then add my colors. So a little more cutting of scrap to go, but I'm going to get these filled. And here's a quick look at about 5 grams in each one as a base. Again, didn't measure each one, just took my glass bits and had the overall weight and then just distributed amongst them. So now I'm going to add my color. All right, we're ready to pop this one in the kiln now. Let me share my color mixtures. A couple I just did one each, things I have not combined before in the way of Bullseye or Val's 90s. I took some of her Pippin, which is actually a sulfur-based or sulfur-bearing, and I add a little bit of orange, thinking they shouldn't react if the orange is like the oranges in the 96, where it's more of a sulfur-based as well. So we'll find out, and that could come out looking like a hot mess. This one I'm sure is going to have some fun reactions. This is just French vanilla and teal opalescent. And then the rest of these are mostly all Val's, except for a couple mixtures I added gold purple. So this is tanzanite with a few little flakes of the gold purple, which is more of a coarse frit on both of them. This is the atomic, also with little flecks of some gold purple in there. And then these are just straight up Everglade. And again, I did have the clear underneath all of these. So I'm gonna go over and get this into the kiln, get the kiln fired up, and hopefully later today I'll be able to see what these look like. Look, I'm so proud of myself. I put everything away where it belongs. And now I have some space to go through my notes and maybe play with something else today. I keep thinking about something I heard, and I wish I could remember which crafter's video I saw it in. I want to say it was Jennifer Maker. It might have been someone else, but talking about, you know, when you're putting things, when you're working with tools or working with your different equipment, instead of putting it down, put it away. So I always, in the back of my mind, and sometimes even out loud, I just say, don't put it down, put it away. Don't put it down, put it away. So I'm trying to get better about that, and I have been doing a better job upstairs in my crafting space. So if I can start applying that more so down here, that will be very helpful as well. So anyway, I'm going to go through my notes and get that kiln going, and we'll see what those puppy paws look like later on. So we are currently just over 1400 degrees. I'm on my way up to 1490. That's how I fire my hearts. I'm just going for less time. Oh, here comes Rocco. And we're going to take a peek. Hi. Here. Okay, still pretty chunky yet, which I would expect. Well, let's check them again after they've hit their top temp. Now you see it drop pretty quickly, but it'll also climb back up in the 1400 range here within a minute, I'm sure. All right, we're up to 1465. Let's take a look. Getting there. All right, so my paws are out of the kiln. I just about said out of the oven. I really love these ones with Val's colors. So this was the Everglade. These were the Atomic Pink. But I think out of all of them, my favorite are these. This was the Tanzanite, and then I had a little gold purple in there. And just the, let's see if I can hold it up to the light. A little hard to do here. This was, I didn't get quite enough glass in there, I really don't think, but that was the French vanilla and teal, so some cool reactions. That was the one that I mixed the orange in with the Pippin. And then these were all the petrified wood and the robin's egg blue. A lot more blue looking than I had hoped. I think I was hoping I would see more of the reds, but it's just in how the glass was laying in there too. So if I flip all of these over, backsides are really interesting too. Let's see here. So there's the reverse side, the back side, which is going to be glossy because that was on top when the mold fired. But I think Jameson said it as well, like the front side, you have that little bit of texture from the mold, but you know, a paw has some texture there on the pads, so I like them. Now, I thought I had a CPI mold that was a paw, but the one I found is not CPI. It was this one, which actually is a little bit wider. And looking at this, I think it might be a Slumpy's mold. I believe it was in with some that I had acquired, and yeah, it's actually a little bit bigger, wider than these are, but I wasn't crazy about when I did make some out of this one. I do like the shape here. So I compared it to the Holey mold, and honestly, they're very close in size to that one, but that one has a little hole on it, and I wanted to make some without the hole, just thinking, you know, little pocket paws, but I didn't really see a way just because of the post. So this is very similar in size to it, but it's freestanding on its own. Now, you could certainly put a bail on these, and like those clear ones that Jameson sells might be ideal for something like this. But I just think they're great just as little pocket paws, like pocket hearts. So they are smaller than the hearts, that's for sure. I do think I could have gone with a little more glass in them. And I was going to weigh them out. So let me go grab a scale and we'll see how much these weigh. So when I put these in, I was thinking they were probably going to be between 14 and 16 grams. So first one I dropped down on the scale here, 16. 16. 17. 15, 18, that one's the biggest one so far. 15, 15. Realize you can see this, I don't have to read each one off. So they're pretty consistent. So I did get them filled somewhat evenly. None of them were the 13, and to be honest, I think 13, I might have weighed that one already. I think 13 might be a little light, but again, it's more about the volume than the weight, I think, when you're filling a mold like this. Yeah, it looks to be, I would say the average was 16, so yeah. I like them. I'm gonna make more, and I just think they're adorable. And again, my favorites out of this batch are definitely these. You can really see them against the white background. These were the Tanzanite with a little gold purple in there. Really pretty. So anyway, that is my positively fun fusing experiment I wanted to share with you all. Hope you're having a great weekend, and I hope you have a great week ahead, or any week, depending on when you're watching this. As always, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks.